So just allow me for 1 minute. Firstly, I would like to share the presentation. Okay, I hope that PPT is quite visible to all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically we will discuss how the smart blend technology is taking place in the part, or how the flip learning through the AI centric model is working. So basically, friends, after the NEP or before the NEP, there is a big difference at present time. So right now, I will start why this becomes so necessary. We know this part in the present time that education in this digital age require the rethinking teaching practices or rethinking of the pedagogical approach for the higher education. Why I'm saying this part? Because in present time, learner become uh, smarter than us in terms of the adoption of the technology. So anyhow, we have to adopt the technology. We have to adopt these kind of model for our own purpose, for our classroom interaction purpose. And after the NEP, actually, that recognize the special emphasis of technology. Earlier, we were using the terms education technology, then we shifted the ICT, then we shifted the disruptive technology also. So the part is how we can integrate the disruptive technology in the classroom, and how the NEP recognize the importance of the technology. It is also saying that this is a time there we have to modify, we have to accept the advanced kind of pedagogy for the classroom. And when the technology integrate thoughtfully, it should not like this key. We can adopt anything for the classroom, but the main purpose is when integration thoughtfully, it can easily transform the teaching learning, and it making it more interactive, inclusive, and the learner centric also. So for especially when we are talking about the classroom, it should be learner centric only. And technology already recognize this part, because it's become a quite powerful platform or the tools for enhancing the teaching learning process, and strongly advocate the adoption of the blended learning in a higher education. We have a policy also. I will also discuss this part. So for this kind of situation, most of the credit also goes to the COVID situation, because in the COVID situation, we used to adopt the technology in a classroom, and that was the biggest transformation in the school, in the education system in India actually. So these are the reason for NEP 2020. And there is a big difference where we are taking this part. We are adopting the vision for digital education. So we are treating the technology as the enabler of quality and the equity. So for this part, we are promoting the blended learning approaches. Under the blended learning, we already adopted the flipped learning. I will show you that how the flipped learning model can be integrated in the classroom. So right now we are providing a lot of digital support for teachers, professional development also, because in NEP, lots of emphasis is already given the capacity buildings of teachers only. Nobody is talked about the capacity building of the learner, because already learner having lots of exposure, lots of smartness in adaptation of technology. So the organization like Nepal, organization like NCRT, different MMTTC are continuously organizing these kind of program to maintain, to create the digital competency in learner also. That's the biggest part also. Okay, so these are the approach actually where we are adopting this part. But in present time, we are also adopting a lot of learning modalities. Learning modalities include the face-to-face interaction. We have the online learnings, we have the blended and the flipped classroom model. These kind of modalities we are adopting. So for this concept, now we have a one smart term known as a smart blend education. So smart blend education is combination of the blending learning with lots of artificial intelligence based platform for teaching learning and for classroom purpose also. And these smart blend education is an innovative platform designed to enhance the blended learning through the advanced AI driven scheduling also. These smart blend education naturally optimize the education logistic by dynamically adapting to the individual need of the student and the educator, and it is significantly reducing the administrative overhead and enhancing the learning outcomes in the higher education. And this kind of platform easily integrate the AI to just personalize the education experiences and streamline the scheduling process, which enabling the educator to just focus more on the pedagogical part and less on the uh, coordinator task also. For this purpose, we have lots of empirical evidences which is showing that the platform efficacy in the real world setting is already discussed so many times. And along with these kind of challenges, such as the technological disparity, data security, and user adaptation, we have a different kind of modalities and technique in adaptation of higher education. But that these kinds of the rapid shift and the innovation of the technology has changed the field of education during the past decade, and you can easily observe these part in the higher education. And this has changed the way where the people teach and learn, especially in the education. The learning is an essentially social become the learning is basically become the social activity that can easily employ a variety of effective learning strategy. So the use of new technology in the teaching and learning that can help to improve the teaching learning traditional learning method, while also helping the student to just build uh, the the teaching skill. So we are using the terms blended learning. Again, I will discuss why the blended learning become so popular. We have a one circular which was given by the UGC in 2021 that argue that that she said this part that blended learning mode of teaching and learning paves the way for increase the student engagement in learning, easily enhance the student teacher interaction, and easily improve the student learning outcomes and more flexible learning and teaching environment in education. So the document already proposed that part that all the higher education institutions should teach around the 40% of any course, online course, and rest 60% in offline. So there is a combination, there is a hybrid mode of learning. And a policy document on the education, the NEP 2020 highlight the major objective of blended learning is to make the process of learning not only impactful but also engaging, encouraging, interesting, and challenging for the learner. Then only we can create the interest of learner in a teaching learning scenario. So it has also emphasized the importance of the wide use of the technology in the teaching to improve the student learning and achieve the aim of the 100% literacy in the classroom. So this policy calls for the development of digital infrastructure as well as to just empower teachers to create the high quality e-learning resources. So we have to give the focus on one part that blended learning is going to assist in achieving the NEP 2020 objective of internationalization indigenous knowledge through the digitalized course content while maintaining the traditional uh, learning and teacher roles also. Additionally, to improve the teaching learning skills, there is an emphasis to increase the use of the ICT in a higher education. So, with the changing scenario in the society to deal with the new student and curriculum, teachers always introduce a new method in the course delivery system for the better adjustment and understanding of the student also. So the blended learning is one such method, which is the student-centric learning model adopted by many institutions, and it is a learning mechanism that can equally beneficial for a student in the classroom and the remote learner also. So in the both situation, we can run these kind of classes, and blended learning is an approach to learning actually, which provide the that combine the face-to-face and online learning experiences. That blended learning can be implemented in many unique ways, generally using a combination of one or more models. I will also share lots of model with you, and there are different type of the blended learning techniques. Let's have a view on that part, and we will discuss this part how the models is very beneficial for teaching learning. But before that part, we will understand what is the actual concept of this learning. So we have the simplest definition of blended learning. We can say this is the terms. Blended learning is the use of the traditional classroom teaching method together with the use of the online learning for the same student is studying the same content in the same course. And we can easily say it's a thoughtful fusion. It's a thoughtful fusion of face-to-face and online learning experiences. There are always a lots of blended learning courses we have in our surrounding in which students used to study some courses face-to-face classroom and other courses are delivered fully in the online. So in other words, blended learning we can say is a terms applied to the practice of providing the instructions and learning experiences through some combination of both face-to-face and technology-mediated learning also. So during the technology-mediated component of these learning experiences, the students are not required to be physically together in one place, but may be connected digitally through the online community also. So we have lots of example. I will discuss these example also. So classroom instructions classroom instruction time may be replaced or augmented by the online learning experiences, and the online learning experiences can include varying degree of interaction or just time alone in the independent study and learning activity also. So however, in a quality blended learning experiences, the content and activity of both in personal and online learning are integrated with one another and work towards the same learning outcome with the same content. So the various learning experiences are synthesized, complement, synthesize and complement each other and are planned to run in a parallel situation. That is the beauty of this kind of approach. So generally, in a very simple way, we can say the blended is sometimes called the hybrid or the mixed mode of the learning. And these system of instruction design may design use many types of the teaching and learning experiences and vary in the design and implementation across the teachers program and even the schools also. So we have a lot of potentials variation of the mixed mode, and these mixed mode approach learning are virtually endless. It is totally up to the teacher ke how can we design these approach. And a good way to get a sense of the range of the possibility is to consider lot of classroom activity through the some example. So that is a essential part for the learning. But question arise, what is the need of the learning? We have to understand this part. Definitely, uh, in present time, lots of emphasis are already given uh, in what can be achieved through this transformation of education. And especially in this policy clearly stated that it is a time to take on the policy that is really a student-centric situation, or what can be safely put down as a education 4.0 also. We belongs to this teaching fraternity, and we are focusing, we are giving the emphasis on this part actually. Okay, the everything what we are doing in the classroom should be learner centric. In this line of rethinking, the new policy gives the acceptability of many modes of the learning, including that face-to-face learning, online learning, and distance or virtual mode also. And it also promotes the use of the vocational courses, multidisciplinary courses, and multi-model approach, thereby focusing on blended teaching learning also. So it is not a really uh, it's not a mere mix of the online and offline face-to-face mode, but it refers to a well-planned combination of meaningful activity in both the modes also. So the blended demand the consideration of several factors, mainly focusing on learning outcome and the learner-centered instructions environment also. So given the emergence of the digital technology and the emergence importance of leveraging the technology for teaching learning at all level from school to higher education, this policy recommended the use of the blended learning in the classroom and for the learning also. So the NEP actually stated that while promoting the digital learning and education. The importance of face-to-face in-person learning is fully recognized. So we have a different effective models of blended learning that can be identified to appropriate implementation of this part of learning in the classroom. But before implementing this part, we have to understand the the benefit of these kind of blended learning environment. So easily we can increase the student engagement in the learning. That is the biggest part. We can easily enhance the interaction between the learner teacher during the classroom, during inside the classroom or outside the classroom. So responsibility for learning become a different. So both the end become the responsible. Everything is under control, everything under management. So there is a different big difference to implement that part also. So we have also Indian framework, and accordingly we have to perform. Accordingly, we have to give the emphasis also. But for this purpose, we have to understand the various type of the blended learning classes, blended learning situation. For the classes also. So there is a big difference to adopting these kind of concept for the uh, classroom situation also. That is the biggest part. So friends, we have lots of model. We have a lots of things like we have the flipped classroom model. We have the rotation models. We have the enriched virtual model, face-to-face drive model, etc. I will try to give the emphasis on these model one to one, and let's see how we can create this part. So these model actually, the flipped classroom model is a very unique kind of part. है ना? Firstly, we will think the one of the unique model of the part of this learning that is known as the blended learning classroom. And these blended learning classroom becomes so important. First model, we have the station rotation blended learning model. In this model, actually, you can see in the diagram, the station rotation model is very popular one because of the role of the student here. So student rotate between the learning from a teacher in a physical classroom, learning online and involving in a group project. That's a simple method for behind the adaptation of these kind of approach. So by implementing this model, one set of the student will be able to receive the guideline or instruction from a classroom teacher, whereas other set of the student will be able to set the pace of their own learning. So, with the help of this model, the teacher will always be able to get monitors the understanding of a topic and the opportunity to provide them with the support and the feedback also. So, this station rotation model is a very common and is usually done within a course or the subject. So, a student rotate on a fixed schedule or as per the instruction led out by the teacher before the classroom. So station rotation include at least one station for online learning and other can be group project, group lecture or group activity also. In the diagram, you can easily see there is an approach where student rotate between different learning modalities according to the fixed pre-planned schedule by the teacher at the learner space. We used to give lots of emphasis. We used to give lots of assignment to the learner also. There is a big difference. Hello. Good morning, Shiva. एक meeting चल रहा है. I will call you back. So there is a big difference at all. So here we can combine online and face-to-face learning also, and where the student moves between the different learning activity, and we have a learning modalities also. So it is one of the simplest kind of method. Second method we have lab rotation blended learning model. So this lab rotation model is similar to the station rotation model, but here the student rotate between the classroom and the dedicated computer laboratory also. So there is a big difference in the part. In the lab rotation, the blended always means that a student rotate through the physical class and digital learning at a fixed schedule also. It look almost the same as a station rotation model, but there is a big difference we have to understand part. So unlike the station rotation model, where the both offline and online activity take place in one and the same class, the live rotation required learner to physically change the room also. So this method can incorporated when there is a limited limitation in the incorporating a large number of students in the same classroom or experimental lab also. There is a big difference. Third model we have, that is the individual rotation blended learning model. In the diagram, you can see it is the one of the most personalized learning method and also very popular because we are giving the focus on the individual learning. So we are providing the direct instruction as per the pace of the learner. And here, when we are using this method, the student can be made to learn the subject of their choice in a custom schedule set by the teacher. And it helps the student to learn a variety of the course based on their interest in a given period over time, and it helps in the meeting of needs of each student. And this model will be very useful for implementing the choice based credit system in the classroom. So here the student do not rotate through every learning station, but schedule basically the what kind of schedule we have, that is totally individualized in the personal. So learning pathway already set by the instructor, which is tailored to the each learner. And with the help of the technology, we can track the student progress and recommended the various activity also. Uh, Next model, friends, we have around flipped classroom. It is also one of the unique model. So flipped classroom is a widely adopted version of the blended one. That's why we are giving the focus. And in this method, basically, the students are introduced to a portion in advance. And in the classroom, they are made to discuss the topic and clarify the doubts with the support of teachers and peers. So, flipped classroom based group quiz is also an effective method through which the active learning can be implemented in the classroom. But before that part, here the classroom time is then utilized for discussion and the collaborative activities and the problem solving exercise also. So we have lots of ICT based tools like learning management system. We have the video platform. We have the online discussion board. We have etc. We have. But before that part, we have to understand the concept of the flipped classroom, because this is one of the best method, and this method can be this can be a method can be understood as the process of reversing the uh, teaching and learning process, as simple as. And in this learning method, the student learn the concept and topic at home and complete their assignment and homework at school also. So the flipped classroom is an innovative pedagogical approach that focus on shifting the traditional learning style with the modern learning style, and it includes the various activities that aim at the increase the student engagement by adopting or moving a learner centric approach rather than a traditional learning approach. Here, the flipped classroom actually has become the popular in recent year, because due to this level of the benefit and level of the flexibility, and this method allow us to learn the more efficiently through the utilizing class time to just inculcate in the educational activity for all the students and for all the group activity also. So the flipped classroom or flipped classroom learning is not very limited only to the student, but also help the student. And through this method, the teacher can update the traditional learning method with the contribution of the technology in education. And this approach gives flexibility and freedom to student to learn as per the comfortability and learning pace also. So this also enable teachers to improve the student performance and measure their weakness in the classroom also. And this model actually, model of learning, we can say enhance the problem solving skills, and easily it can enhance the student engagement through the interactive classroom session. That is a main mandate of this model. But friends, again, I would like to give the emphasis why we are talking about the flipping, why the need, and why we are talking about the things also. So flipping the classroom is an incredible way to make the education more convenient and accessible. And this method actually enable the student to learn at home and do their tasks in the school. So that the reverse learning method convert the traditional learning approach and enhance the student learning potential also. So in flipped classroom, the teaching process is moved from the outside the classroom, which allow the student to learn from any location, irrespective of any geographical issues or challenge. That is a different part. So, however, the flipping of the classroom vary from the class to classroom and course to course or teacher to teacher. And flexibility also change as per the schedule of the classroom. So, with the help of this classroom, we can easily make the content very accessible. So, moving the classroom from the traditional approach of classroom education to online education, which provide a student with the easy access, that is a wonderful way. And through the flipped classroom, the student engage more time on the learning activity rather than the study for a longer period of time. So, through the online access, the student can learn at their own convenience, and this promote the peer-to-peer learning and communication skills in the uh, classroom also. That is a very unique kind of way. But best benefit we have, like making the education more interactive. So changing the traditional classroom with a flipped classroom, the learning environment always allow the student to participate in the classroom. So the flipped classroom make the student interactive actually. When they are using the digital resource, such as when they are using the 3D structures, animations, story, quiz, etc. And this also assists the student in capturing the deeper connections between the different kind of subject. And when we are talking about the integration of technology in this place, we have lots of options of adopting this technology, where the flipping the classroom aid in the promoting the data literacy skills, and the contribution of the technology to education made it accessible to make the individual and make it more interactive. So the technological use for fun learning elements such as gamification, simulations, video lectures, podcasts, and so on. And this make learning more engaging and allow the student to participate in the classroom activity. And when we are talking about this part, it makes education more versatile actually. So flipped learning make education versatile, which means they can study at their own convenience and the schedule also. So flipped learning focus on the online learning, which enable the student to choose a variety of course in the program, and this aid them to developing skills and enhancing the future opportunity also. So the question is how the flipped classroom learning is going to work. So for this purpose, I just mention a one diagram which is clearly saying that part that it is very effective part for classroom teaching and learning. Basically, the flipped classroom method is an instruction based aspect that helps in the classroom process. Okay, that is a different part. And here we have to adopt that part. Sorry, please just. So basically, in the classroom, just allow me. So in a particular classroom, there is a one option. Okay, we are talking about okay, how we can integrate the technology, how we can integrate the technology. So this basically it's a instruction based aspect that help in the classroom process. So the flipped classroom is an active learning approach and which engages the student through the interactive classroom sessions. The flipping or the flipped class model basically integrate the new technology material in the offline and the offline mode. So here, firstly, we have to understand. I just mentioned that this comparative T chart. Here you can see here is three kind of aspect we have. One way aspect we have before the classroom. Second we have in the classroom, and third we have after the classroom. In the before the classroom, basically the first step of flipped learning is the it's enable the student to just familiarize themselves with the new concept, subject, and the topic. But if talk about the traditional method, here we used to share everything within a classroom only. So the learner come to the classroom based on their topic and scheduling given to them. That is the only methods. And here we can integrate any kind of things. So through the online learning platform, students prepare for the classroom at the home by taking notes, study material, question, etc. Also, if there is any doubt, they can bring these into the classroom to clear their doubt collaborative also. So in the flipped classroom, we are getting the part that the learner are given study material to read and assimilate the learning content in very advanced. But if we talk about in the classroom, so in the traditional method, everything is depend on the teacher side. So here, a teacher is working as an instructor, and the instructor delivered the lecture to the classroom and provide with the study material. So during the classroom, the student can easily student is not going to easily participate in the activity. But we talk about the flipped classroom. So in the classroom, you can see in the diagram, the student can participate in every learning process and explore the new learning opportunity throughout the classroom activity. And this can be done with the help of discussion, group activity, one-to-one interaction part, online group project. So we can easily develop on the critical thinking and problem solving skill are improved as a result also. So the learner discuss the content with their peer and the instructor also. Third part you can see after the classroom or the post classroom here in the traditional way. The learner are given practice exercise or activity to enhance their learning activity only. But in the flipped classroom, after the end of the classroom, the student continue to learn to master their concept. So this involved during the revision, readings, and clearing the doubt with a lot of resource material. So this helped them to evaluate their classroom performance and assessment. And these activity break down the classroom activity, which enabling them to make connection between the various concepts. So we have to understand the path. And easily we can integrate the part. But again, we are considering the flipping in the classroom. So consideration of flipping the classroom basically an engagement aspect of teaching and learning process in a real time. So flipped classroom actually makes sure that every student get a deeper understanding of a concept rather than memorizing the facts. So that's why we are providing every material in advance. And consideration of this flipped classroom make the traditional method of teaching and learning process more engaging, impactful, and interesting for the learner. So it is providing the actually equal access to the technology to everyone. So one major consideration of adopting the flipped classroom is to ensure that every student has equal access to the technology. So, as a flipped classroom, use digital learning tools and the platform and the resource. It is become the essential for every student to have a proper access to the online resources material. If they don't have the resource material access, then there is no need of the flipped classroom, and we cannot run the flipped classroom without the access of the online resources. As without the online resources, it become very tough to utilize the flipped classroom method in their part, and that's secondary. They should learn, they know actually how to utilize the digital tool. So using the digital platform is a major consideration of adopting the flipped classroom in the reality. Teacher can use the various assessment methods, such as we used to adopt the learning management system, LMS, student management system. And these platform actually helps to understand the students performance and the weakness in the classroom, and also it allow them to evaluate the kids understanding level also. And this allow educator to receive the quick feedback and receive their findings also. But here we have the utilizing the engaging content, using the interactive and engaging method, which helps the student to grasp the concept more easily. So by using the interactive elements such as audio visual elements, animation, and simulation, we can work on this part, and this assists the student in generating the new ideas for the problems and understanding the concept of real world. So you can easily engaging the learner through the content, and engaging content makes the learning more fun and allow the student to develop a deeper understanding of the concept. So in this process, actually in every process, we have the option of incorporate feedback. Without the feedback, we cannot move further, and every time we have to utilize these kind of feedback in the classroom. So feedback is become a very essential or very easily very important thing, understanding the study process of the student. It and provide the proper feedback, make sure that every student has understood the concept. If they are facing any challenge, then they can clear their doubts, and this help the student to focus on the specific problem and the students' need in the classroom. Secondary, it is making a clear communication with the learner. So, for every kind of teaching learning, it's a basic principle that communication should be clear, and it is also basic consideration, considerable part for the flipped classroom also. So, clear cut communication um, helps in removing all the issues and make the teaching learning as smooth in the present time also. But here, the educator can clearly communicate with their student about new topics and learning approaches. This gives idea about the content through which they can act accordingly. Also, that is a major thing. So we have the n number of things. We can discuss this part in a later situation. So I just prepared this comparative chart. This will allow you to understand the concept of flipped classroom, traditional classroom, and how we can adopt that part. This makes a difference actually. So when we are adopting this part, we can say it has changed the educational system by making education simple and equal for every student. So this approach allows the student to develop the confidence and enhance their problem solving skill also. And when we are adopting these methods, the student can learn the new concept either at home or in online medium and attend the classroom assignment and the group project also. So that is why this become the more popular, and we can easily say it is also allowing student to develop a positive learning environment also. So we have lots of benefit. First benefit is easily it allow the learner to engage in a very collaborative learning mode or collaborative learning environment. So, for the technology perspective part, the adaptation of technology are very unique terms. And here we can understand this part. Okay, student can participate in the debate, group project, assignment, fieldwork, and the other activity also. So, in the flipped learning, the student developed a deeper understanding of concept and promote a positive learning environment. And through the collective learning, the student can share all their experiences and promote the knowledge transfer. Here we are also giving the focus on the personalized learning. I told you here, if we are designing this thing in a very smooth way, we are providing and the student received a personalized learning experiences. So flipped learning allows the student to study at their home in an online mode. So every student has their own learning style and capacity for grasping the knowledge. So we can give the attention on the part. So here teacher can easily address the specific need of the learner and easily can provide the required based education system. And one more thing, nowadays we are giving lots of emphasis on the mental health. Okay. Now a student is also they are also facing a lot of stress issue in the classroom, lots of technical perspective in the classroom. So that is a very biggest challenge for the learner also. But here, if we are adopting this part, we can reduce the stress, these kind of stress in the classroom. So the flipped classroom learning helps in reducing the stress through providing a structure and the flexible learning environment or the experience in very advanced. So this flipped learning use an online learning approach that help the student learn at their own pace and as per the capability also. That is a main major thing. And even getting personalized learning uh, aid. The student, sorry, it helps the student to learn in their academic support and guidance at their weakness also. So we are arranging all the things with a proper arrangement. So these kind of things, the proper flipped classroom learning helps in reducing the stress and depressions, which make it easy for a student to grasp concept more easily also. And one more thing I would like to share, because I'm comparing the both the thing, it promote the self-directive learning. Why I'm saying this part? Because it is giving me emphasis on it is giving the emphasis on the flipped learning, and it enable the student to learn on their own according to their learning capacity and style of learning. So in flipped classroom, the student can attend the classes online and do the assignment on clear their doubts in the physical school also, which motivate them to study on their own. So directed learning also help in promoting the lifelong learning, which enable them to stay updated with the latest technology kind of tools. So that is the best benefit of adopting these kind of things in a very advanced. We have also four pillar of the flipped classroom model. Generally, these four pillar saying the things. It's a flip. F for flexible environment, L for learning culture, I for intentional content, and P for professional educator. So this part is known as the flexible learning environment. And these four pillars are used during the pre-classroom work and in classroom work, even in the post-classroom work also. So here these models is providing lots of flexible environment, a lot of flexibility to the learner also. That's why this become more sensible, more useful, more attractive for the learner also. We have to understand on the part. But before this part, actually, we have to understand the role of the teacher. So, teacher's role is quite different and quite challenging here. There's no sacrifice in adaptation of the technology in our classroom purpose. So, teacher role is quite different because teacher record the video lectures and upload to the online platform accessible to the all the student. It should be uploaded before the time. That's why I'm telling you this part has become more flexible, more challenging for the learner, where learner have to give the more engagement, more task to the this place only. And beside this place, actually, it's a part of the learning where we are putting lots of emphasis in adaptation of the this kind of task. So teacher also provide supplementary material in advance also, such as the we are providing a reading, we are providing a worksheet and online resources for further understanding of the concept and further understanding of the various kind of issues also. That's a major kind of things. Here, immediate feedbacks matter a lot. So teacher need to be a very attentive, and in a very attentive mode, they can provide the real time feedback, and it clarify the misconception and guide the student through the challenging problem also. So teacher monitor the progress, provide the individual feedback, and offer the further resources or supplement material if needed in advance also. But friends, I would also like to share the student role also. So basically, both the things is very essential. Student is student is all should be very active also. So here the student watch the video lecture and review the supplementary material before coming to the classroom. That is a one mandatory part. And without this material, he will not be able to discuss this part in the classroom. And students are encouraged to take classroom or the notes also. So write down. They need to write the course question and highlight the area of the confusion so that the discussion can start and can continue in the classroom also. So during this face to face, the students are engaged in the interactive activity and even the problem solving exercise. So brainstorming session can work in a very unique way. And after the classroom, the students are given the additional practice exercise or assignment to reinforce their learning situation also. And that's why we are adopting this part. And I told you earlier that blended learning format plus AI become the blend ed education. And for this purpose, I'm 100% sure that you are using. And for integration of this part in teaching learning scenario, we have to utilize the collaborative learning tool. It's a fact. And I am sure, okay, out of the few parts when you are also using few tools to integrate these kind of the learning in your own environment. The collaborative learning tool or the platform always provide a lot of support, teamwork, communications, trust, motivation, and the inspiration also. So collaborative learning is essential where the people working together to just solve a problem, create a product, or drive the meaning from a body of the material. A central question or problem solve to organize and drive the activity and encourage the application, analysis, and synthesis of the course material also. So while the landscape of the technology that can be used to support central activity of the collaborative learning is a very vast and varied. It is often lumped together as a single terms known as the collaboration platform. So we can say this part. This is the common learning terms. Actually, this is the just an umbrella term. I would like to say why I'm saying this part is umbrella terms because it gives the emphasis. Okay, and it is involving the all the intellectual efforts by the teachers, by the students, or by the teachers together. Here, usually the students are working in a group of two or more, mutually searching for understanding, solution, or meaning, or creating a product also. So the collaborative learning activity very widely, but more center on student exploration or application of the course material. That is not simplify the teacher's presentation or explication of it, but it is very effective in the classroom. So these collaborative learning represent a significant shift away from the typical teacher center or lecture center in your classroom. So in the collaborative learning classroom, the lecturing, listening, note taking process may not disappear entirely, but it lives alongside other processes that are based in the student discussion and active work with the course material. So the teacher who use these collaborative learning approaches tend to think of themselves less as an expert transmitter of knowledge to a student and more as an expert designer of the intellectual experience for the student coach as also in this emergent situation. So we have to give that think why it become the more popular in a present scenario also. So this collaborative learning produce the intellectual synergy of many minds coming to bear on a problem and the social stimulation of the mutual engagement in a common endeavor. And this mutual exploration, meaning making the feedback, often led to better understanding of the part of the student and to create of new understanding of all of us. So that is our biggest part. So we are giving the emphasis on this part that how we can adopt the teaching learning environment in the present. And for this purpose, friends, we are using a very different kind of collaborative learning tool. Here, I would like to listen from you. What kind of tools are you using at present? Please write in the chat box only. Please mention in the chat box what kind of tools are you using at present time. Are you using any kind of collaborative tool in a present scenario?
So not
If
at
you are
present.
using, please
Earlier
write the
we have
name of the
been.
chat, name of the, please use the chat box.
Okay, sir.
Please mention the name of the platform. Please mention the chat box. The few participant mention the name of the tool, that Google Classroom, Kahoot, Google Classroom. Okay. So most of the people are using the Google Classroom. So anyone else who is using this kind of things? Okay. Mostly people are using the Google Classroom. I will share some advanced platform with you. Okay. Just allow me for 2 minutes, and we will see how this kind of platform may be very useful for all of us. So, in the collaboration time, I hope my screen is quite visual to all.
Yes, sir. It is visible. You have shared your entire screen.
Just wait, sir. Okay. So now I'm sharing the screen with you. That is quite visual for all, na?
Yes, sir. दिख रहा है. दिख रहा है, दिख रहा है.
Okay. So you can see here, there's a lots of tools. Firstly, I will share the very popular tools. In that part, you can utilize the Padlet, you can utilize the Socrates, Edmeadow, Think Link, EdTech, Kahoot, Story, but it's up to you. Uh, and there is no limitation. You can also use these tools for the school education as well as for the higher education. So there is no issue and no discrimination at all. But as a teacher, you have to design all the activities for your classroom, so you may utilize the tools. And these tools may be utilized for the for communication, for project management, classroom activity presentation. And this is the one of the best tool where we can do the lots of social networking issues also. And for this purpose, and I will try to share the few uh, essential or the beneficial application or the platform you may utilize. We have the Mentimeter, we have the Slido, we have the Movely, we have the Easily, Slackset, etc. After this, you can learn the benefit of using this platform. So we can easily make the student proactive during this learning process, and it helps them to learn the other perspective, perception, and view in this part also. So the flipped learning platform we have for the flipped classroom, we have a book visit, we have the Canva, Padlet, we have the Loom, and sometime you can utilize Fnet. That is a one of the major platform for the simulation and interactivity also. We have the Ed Puzzle, we have the Kidom, Hippo, etc. But out of this, I will share a one best platform for you. It's quite useful. It's a quite essential for us. Here we will learn this platform. Why I'm sharing this part? Okay, because these tools or platform is a very one of the unique thing. It's a very unique platform that is used to deliver the interactive content to students through the dynamic interactive presentation, where integration, lots of integration of AI we have. It easily synchronizes a presentation of teacher, which is making across all the sessions, all the device. In the one presentation, we have the poll video, uh, we have the videos, we have the quiz, we have drawing boards, we have the collaborations board, virtual field, etc. We have in this presentation. These enhance the presentation actually, making the content interactive. Additionally, because the content is appearing on a student device synchronously, it feels personalized, and you will get the live kind of feedback. What is unique about this platform is each student can interact with the content individually, and the teacher will have the individual responses in terms of turn it. So when the students submit their work, the submitted work is posted up on the main presentation in the real time for a student to see also. But how can you use? So there are many example of using this platform, that it could be used in the classroom as a pre-assessment, as a practice during the lesson, or as a formative assessment also. And so in the three way we can utilize this platform. So here, what I just wanted to share with you, that it helps the educator make any lesson interactive, whether in the classroom or the virtual. Okay, so the concept is very simple. A teacher can create interactive presentation that always contain a quiz, poll, interactive videos, collaborative board. You can see in the part simulations. We can also use the nearpod, we can use the BVC video, PDF file, etc. We can use. So here you can access thousands of the pre-built sessions, which is aligned with your topic, and you can also upload the existing lesson and may make them interactive also. So here, the student can easily access the teacher's presentation. I will share this presentation with you, and I will also add all of you in my classroom with a unique code, and the teacher then moves the classroom through the presentation, and lets student interact with the media as they want. So here, the student can also opt for student pace mode, where the student control the flow of the lesson. So this mode is perfect for sub days, weather days, or home assignment. That is the beauty of this part. And in this presentation, basically lots of personalized point is available, lots of live formative work is available that can be done easily also. So this is the platform where in single platform we can have all the modality. So, however you create and deliver the lesson, this is up to you. But here you can create the lesson for interactive in terms of the interactive slide, interactive video, or gamifications activity also. Here we have around 2500 plus kind of activities we have. So you can review the student work during the session or pre-session, that is up to you. And even you can upload your PowerPoint, Google Slides, your PDF, your videos, etc. Even we have the integration of YouTube in this platform also. That is a unique part. So in the classroom, the customizable nature of this platform means that it can be applied to any range of the any range and teaching content, and it definitely it's going to save the time of the teacher with the real time formative assessment, and which is session report, and help to build a connective culture in and outside of the classroom also. So that is why it is promoting the different kind of learning. So you can adopt this kind of things with the three ways. Either you can run the live participation and the or the student base, or as per the front of the classroom. So I'm going to share one thing which you just allow me 1 minute, so that I will prepare a one presentation for you. Firstly, we will see how the teacher can integrate you, involve you in a classroom. Then we will try to develop the one unique platform for you. That's fine for me. Just allow me 2 minutes. I will create this content for you first, and I will share this content, please. And I'm going to share this link with you so that all can come in this part, and you can easily join my classroom. So only through the practical mode you will understand the concept of the classroom. Just allow me 2 minutes. I'm just preparing one slides, and okay, done. I'm going to share the link with you. Firstly, just join the classroom through the link. Then we will understand okay, what is the actual feature. Then we will develop a presentation for you. So here is one link like this. I hope you are able to see my screen. So here is one link. Firstly, I will share the link with you. Please check the chat box, and please join the classroom immediately with the help of this link. Just provide your basic detail. Please check the link and be the part of classroom. Actually, you can also see your name. I'm putting here your name. Here you can easily see your name. So right now, 15 participants join the classroom, and in the part you can also see your name. Those who are already joined, I will wait for next 2 minutes. Right now, we just 32 participants join the classroom, and I'm waiting the other participant can join the classroom immediately. I request to other participant, please join immediately. So those who have already joined, you can check your name. Right now, only 34 participants joined. I will wait for next 2 minutes so that other participant can also join the classroom. Please join immediately.
So where can I check the participant list in the app? I couldn't
Now
get it.
you can see if your name is available, you can see. Or if you already joined, you will be able to see this kind of video at your own screen.
Yeah, that
If you are
video I
able to,
can see.
that means you already joined the class.
Yeah.
So currently there are only 2 slides.
Right now, it's only yes.
Oh, okay, sir.
Meanwhile, you can listen the video first, and there is also one audio of mine. You can also listen to that audio. But right now we have around 64 people, so I will wait for a few minutes so the other participant can join the classroom and take the benefit of these kind of sessions.
ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
Yes, namaskar.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಮಾಣಿಕ್ ಅಂತ.
Sorry.
ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಲಿಂಕಿಗೆ, ಅದು ಈಗ ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
They didn't understand, sir, how they join.
ಹಲೋ
I'm sharing the
Sir,
part
link
again. I'm
ಮೇಲೆ
sharing
click ಮಾಡಿ.
in the chat box.
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
Please join your classroom with the help of this link. Through the link, please join the classroom. Okay. So,
Sir, link ಮೇಲೆ click ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
hello.
ಸರ್ ಮಾಣಿಕ್ ಸರ್,
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಇದು ಚಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ?
I already shared this link in the chat box. If you are facing the difficulty, please open the chat box and start the link on it.
ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಿ.
ಸರ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು
ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಹೌದಾ, ಆಗತ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
So what we can do? Am I audible to all?
Audible,
Yes,
but
sir.
why
Yes,
it
sir.
is coming
Yes, sir.
screen to screen, multiple screens are coming.
So okay, now I hope you are able to see this screen. Now 48 participants join the classroom. That's a
Yes,
perfect
yes.
number. So,
Yes, sir.
it's
But
a
why?
time for the
Sir,
just please.
please sir, one
Yes.
minute. Is screen to screen, multiple screens are coming.
Now you are able to see my screen.
Yes,
Yes,
I am
sir.
able
Yes,
to
sir.
see.
Okay. The part is basically now it's a time for the break. Okay, I think it's a time for break for half an hour.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So just be on the slide. Don't exit yourself from this presentation. We will
Okay.
be again back around 11:45. Then only I will start this presentation. Okay, that's a fine way. Otherwise,
Yes, yes,
we
okay.
will get some disturbance in between. So I don't want to disturb this kind of. Please take a break for half an hour. Be with me through this presentation. Don't exit. Okay. Again, I will be here around 11:45.
Sir, okay, sir. Okay.
Is this fine?
Yes, sir. Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
It's okay.
Okay, sir.
That's
Okay.
a perfect mode. I think.
Okay, sir.
Again, we will follow the MMTTC mode. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, sir.
So take a break for tea or for this purpose. Again, we will here. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Please,
Thank
but I just wanted to make a request. Don't exit from that presentation, please. Otherwise, I have to again start this part and it will going to waste our next minimum 5 minutes. Okay. I will be here around 11:45. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.